Fearless at the net, how Sabalenka solved an unknown opponent to kick off Australian Open. Melbourne, Australia, world number 1 Aryna Sabalenka's quest to make a fourth straight Australian Open final started on a high note Sunday, defeating Tyansoa Rakitomanga Rajana, who tested Sabalenka in the first set. The wild card gave it everything against the highest-ranked opponent in her career on the WTA Tour driven by Mercedes-Benz, but the two-time Australian Open champion's experience prevailed in the 6-4, 6-1 victory at Rod Laver Arena to begin the night session. "I think I didn't really start at my best and was struggling to find my rhythm," Sabalenka said to reporters. "But then I feel like in the last two games of the first set I found my rhythm, and I was able to step in and play a little bit better tennis." What led to Sabalenka's victory? Sabalenka really took advantage of the momentum and security of winning the first set. Breaking Rakitomanga Rajana's serve to end the first set allowed Sabalenka to serve for a 1-0 lead. Quickly, the second set lead blossomed to a 3-0. It was evident Sabalenka's power behind her shot was too much for Rakitomanga Rajana, who often hit returns into the net or out of bounds. In the second set, Sabalenka began to control Rakitomanga Rajana's movement, opening the court and finishing points at the net, where she ventured forward 22 times, or forcing errors under pressure. The difference in weight of shot was clear on serve. Sabalenka averaged 104 miles per hour on her first delivery, compared with 93 miles per hour for Rakitomanga Rajana. That edge carried over on return, where Sabalenka won 42% of points against first serves and 64% against second serves, steadily tightening her grip on the match. Sabalenka then won 3 of the final 4 games to end the 1 hour and 16-minute match. "I was definitely working on serve and volley," Sabalenka said. "I'm super happy to be able to do it on the match. On the practice is one thing, but to be able to be kind of fearless and go there at the match is something else. I'm really proud I'm able to show this tennis." How did Rakitomanga Rajana test the world number 1? The 20-year-old made a quick statement in the opening game. Winning the coin toss, she elected to receive and set herself up with triple break point. Sabalenka did force a deuce, but her return into the net gave Rakitomanga Rajana the early break. After Sabalenka broke to level at 1-1, Rakitomanga Rajana stayed in it by holding her serve across her next 3 service games. She even saved a break point to avoid going down 5-3 and hit a solid forehand winner to tie at 4-4. It was a performance to be very proud of even in defeat, as Rakitomanga Rajana left the court in smiles and waved to the Rod Laver Arena crowd, who showered her with applause. "You're always kind of trying to figure out where you are," Sabalenka said. "Also that opponent that I never played before. I haven't really watched her games before and kind of lose her out of my radar. I didn't really know much about her. I was just struggling to find the rhythm of her shots. I'm happy that I could manage and I could get this win in straight sets." What was the pivotal moment? Rakitomanga Rajana was serving to remain in the first set down 5-4. She had 2 game point opportunities to extend the set, once at 40-30 and the other at add 40. Ultimately, Sabalenka saved the game points and created a set point of her own. On the return, Sabalenka elected to use her power to force the young Frenchwoman from side to side, and the 4-time Grand Slam champion took the break point and won the 45-minute first set. Sabalenka finished 4 of 10 on break point opportunities. What's next? Sabalenka will face Zhuoxuan Bai in the second round, and Zhuoxuan defeated Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova 6-4, 2-6, 7-6, 10. Fearless at the net, how Sabalenka solved an unknown opponent to kick off the Australian Open. There's a special kind of pressure that arrives with the first Grand Slam match of the season. The lights are brighter, the hum of expectation louder, and every rattle of a racket carries a little extra weight. But for Aryna Sabalenka, the world number 1, defending champion, and one of the fiercest competitors on the women's tour, the Australian Open's opening night felt like a collision between tension and opportunity. In the iconic Rod Laver Arena, where legends have writ large their names in tennis history, Sabalenka confronted a challenge few fans saw coming. A first-round matchup against Tyansoa Rakitomanga Rajana, a French wildcard ranked outside the top 100 and unknown to her on the professional circuit. It was the kind of draw that could lull even a champion into a false sense of rhythm, an opponent without a ranking, without head-to-head history, and without predictable patterns. But what Sabalenka showed wasn't complacency, it was fearless creativity. The unknown challenge. The way tennis pundits talk about Grand Slam Opens, they often describe them as tricky. But rarely do we appreciate what that means. A world-class player stepping onto the court with little to no data, a left-handed opponent whose angles and tendencies are mysteries, and an unpredictable style that can defy rhythm. Sabalenka herself admitted she didn't really know much about her opponent until the match began, and that's precisely what made it more challenging than the scoreline suggested. Rakitomanga Rajana brought energy, unorthodox patterns, and fearless shot-making of her own, qualities that made each rally feel like a puzzle to be solved. The first set became not just a battle of big ground strokes, but a cerebral test for Sabalenka, forcing her to think, adapt, and rediscover her rhythm. At one point, the tension found its way into a piece of raw emotion. A fierce forehand slid off Sabalenka's strings and struck her opponent's head. Almost immediately, she offered an apology, a moment of sportsmanship amid intensity that reminded everyone we were watching something human and compelling. Fearless at the net. What made this match more than just another first-round win wasn't the ranking difference. It was Sabalenka's tactical bravery. Traditionally known for her relentless baseline power, she had been working on something new this season: serve and volley play and more frequent ventures to the net. These aren't just stylistic tweaks. They are signs of a champion willing to expand her weapons rather than rely solely on brute force. And in Melbourne, at a moment that could have easily become a slow, methodical grinding win with baseline blows, Sabalenka chose unpredictability. She charged the net 22 times against her opponent, a stunning figure for a player renowned for baseline dominance, and won a remarkable number of those points with crisp, assertive volleying. These weren't timid approaches or defensive half measures. They were fearless transitions, attacking the net with confidence and intent, seizing control of rallies in ways her opponent could not anticipate. This wasn't just a tactical adjustment. It was a statement. In tennis, net play is psychological warfare. Stepping forward says, "I'm in control. I choose the rhythm. I choose where this point goes." And for Sabalenka, who has spent years painting the baseline with power, adding this layer of aggression showed growth, confidence, and a willingness to invent midpoint. It was fearless at its purest, embracing risk not out of recklessness, but with a clear strategic plan. Turning moment. The match was far from a straight.